Razor.
Good evening, folks, and this is our usual round table that we have with new guests all the time, and Clarence is new to this, so we're going to love it. We're going to have fun. But before we get started, folks, follow us on Rumble, all right? Just go over there, click. It takes 2 seconds, okay? Share us on your social media. Make sure you check out our merchandise store. We got some great stuff over there. You got to decorate yourself with merchandise. You want people to ask you, what is the quantum financial system? What is Jasar? What is XRP? And then you simply do one thing. You send them over to the Bible. The Bible and the Holy Grail is QFS1776.com. You want to learn what's coming? That's what's coming. We're burning down the old system. We're never going back. That's what it is. Clarence, welcome. Razor, welcome. George, welcome. Man, you had some good stuff going on before we even hit the record button, Clarence. I want to sort of recapitulate that. And then we're going to talk about another thing, which is the water problem they're having over there by Lake Mead. I just got done doing an incredible podcast with Chelsea and Meekum Marshall, which is going to be off the Richter scales. And we're calling on Nino Rodriguez, and we're calling on some heavy hitters to come and to the aid, because they're trying to mess with the water. That means they're trying to mess with the food growth and the farmers. That means the Italians can't eat, the African Americans can't eat, the other Italian over there, Falcone, can't eat, and that's a problem. You know what I mean? We want to eat
without the water.
Exactly. We want to eat. So we're going to have to make some noise probably out there. So I'm recruiting a bunch of influencers, and we're going to get it done. Razor, welcome. George, welcome. And Mr. Clarence, first time, welcome to our call. I'm going to kick it off being you're the new kid on the block, Clarence. I'm going to kick it off with you. You were talking about some lobster stuff and some cryptocurrencies. Let's do that first.
Okay. Well, it's very simple. As far as cryptocurrency goes, all you really need to focus on technically is the 5 ISO 222 coins, especially XRP and XLM. It's very simple.
Yeah.
But
Okay, Clarence is back. He had a little bit of technical issues, which happens from time to time. That's why we can't wait till we get that Starlink going, man. Anyway, definitely. you were on fire there, Clarence. Go ahead.
Okay, well, basically, what I was saying about cryptocurrency, all you need to focus on is the 5 ISO 222 coins. XD, especially XRP, XLM, XDC, IOTA, and Algorand. Those are the 5 ISO 222 coins. And then you could get some VeChain, some HBAR. Outside of those 7 out of 20,000 cryptocurrencies or digital assets, that's really all you need to focus on.
Yeah, absolutely. So you were messing around with lobster, and you were telling a story that you got like all this money over there, and you were sort of trying to figure out if it's legit, and nobody really knows because we don't have a crystal ball. But it's an interesting story. So why don't you go ahead with that?
Now, as far as lobster goes, I have quite a few. I have quite a few tokens on my lobster account. Now, it's only been my Mercedes-Benz tokens glitching, and the last glitch of my Mercedes-Benz tokens was around like $160 million a month ago.
Wow.
So I learned how to click on, I clicked on the Mercedes-Benz tokens the other day, and it says there's only 15 people. So maybe it's a scam, because I know lobster is filled with scams. So it's very possible it could be a scam. Now, the main 2 on lobster that I'm focusing on, all my assets on lobster are open assets. So the main 2 I'm focusing on is sovereign gold bonds, SGB, from SwissCustody.org domain. And it has several thousand people on that one. And my other one is SAP SE from the Germany Indus.exchange on lobster. And it also has over several thousand people on that as well. So I think those two, they look legit because it wouldn't be thousands of people in them if they weren't legitimate.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my Mercedes-Benz tokens that are listed for, like I said, up to $160 million, it's only 19 people on them.
Right.
So I'm thinking it could be, a scam because it's only 19 people in it.
Well, let me ask you a question. I mean, let's play devil's advocate. How much money did you invest total in that particular one?
In Lobster?
Yeah, and that one that you're talking about, Mercedes-Benz, that you say there's 19 people in it.
Let's see. I have 70 billion tokens, so $7.
Oh, okay. So what you're saying is if you lose, you're going to be wiped out because you lost $7.
No, I'm good. $7.
I'm trying to make satire for all the idiots out there that call lobster a scam. Yeah, you just heard it. He owns billions for $7. So if he loses $7, we might have to put Clarence on suicide watch.
I don't think you'll have to worry about that.
Don't get near any doors.
Yeah, no, I'll be hanging from a doorknob. I get it.
Yeah.
So far on Lobster, I've spent about, I don't know, maybe 60 bucks. And I probably have a total of, it's got to be pushing like 150 billion tokens or more.
Right.
So
let's just assume that all the naysayers and all the people out there that are not going anywhere in life and they have a crab mentality, they want to grab you down and pull you down in the misery and the stupidity that they've been marinating for in years, right? Let's say the whole thing's a crapshoot, okay? And you lost a whopping $60, which is less than the price of having some lousy sushi, because where I go for sushi, it costs a hell of a lot more than $60, right? You understand what I'm saying? People
understand. Yeah. $60 isn't going to make or break you anyway.
Anybody, a homeless guy who's homeless, who comes across $60 and invests it. If you lose that $60, he's still homeless. He's not going to commit suicide.
Exactly. I mean, $60 won't even fill up my Honda Accord right now with the gas prices.
That's a propaganda narrative that's been perpetuated over the decades. I've worked for major corporations. They project their corporate earnings to be 6 million in the next fiscal year, and then all of a sudden, they only made 3 million growth. So right away, they feel they lost 3 million because they didn't reach their goal. Did they lose any money? No, they still made a certain percentage profit and everything, but they didn't reach their goal. So they say, well, I lost. That's the way people have thought. No, they won't look at the $60 they got in there. They'll look at they lost the 180 billion or whatever it was going to be worth. Stock market does the same thing.
Oh, I know. The whole system is corrupt and manipulated. And
you think?
Here's the way I'm looking at it. All right, I'm positioned in a way that if the bad guys win, they're going to kill me anyway. So, I mean, what's the difference? But if the good guys win,
too.
I am emerging a multi-billionaire, and I am set for multi-generational wealth.
Oh, I know. I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more.
I'm rolling the dice. Just come on.
Me too.
I mean, I might have $5,000 in assets that will yield me billions. So I mean, come on.
I'll go up to the roulette table, put a stack on red and a stack on black. And hopefully, when I win one color or the other,
you're good.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, you got to make fun of the whole thing. You got to turn the whole thing into a joke so that people out there can get it. You understand? I mean, there's all these BS stories. Some guy put $150,000 into the lobster, lost his money. He committed suicide. They're trying to blame people like Whiplash and myself and Emily for it. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think there's anybody in the history of lobster that's ever invested $150,000.
You don't need to.
Exactly. That's my point.
Nope.
But
You
you
know,
know what? I may be. Go ahead. Go
I have
ahead.
100, you know, I have probably 160 billion tokens that cost me $60 in lobster. 160 billion. You don't need to invest a large amount of money.
Yeah,
at all.
100. What is he trying to buy the entire lobster with $150,000? You know,
Yeah, I mean, you could have 150 trillion tokens for that kind of money.
yeah, it's ridiculous. It's
Well,
ridiculous.
why wouldn't you be buying $150,000 worth of gold?
Yeah. Or
I mean, if you're gonna-
$150,000 worth of XRP.
I mean, you know, and you know what? I may be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure on this that if it was to turn around, you have to be alive to collect it. So I mean,
Yeah.
it all it takes is patience. And a lot of people are getting real impatient now with the GCRRV, Nasara, Jasara. When's it going to get here? When, you know,
When it gets here, it gets here.
And well, and some people, you know, they're losing loved ones because so they're not waiting for the money part of it. They're waiting for the technologies that are coming and everything. It's like they're asking me, well, what do you think? I get these questions. What do you think about so and so, Intel or whatever? It's like everything's with a grain of salt. Everybody's got a 50-50 chance of being right or wrong. And I've already moved on. That's on the shelf. It's on autopilot. I'm moving on to some healing technology, and that's the road I'm on right now. I'm on this whole care thing. You know, I'm moving forward, so I'm putting more eggs in my basket, so to speak. So something's got to click. You know?
Exactly. Exactly.
And if it don't, what's the worst thing that can happen? Nothing's changed. Oh well, you know.
You're still going to have your Harley Davidson. You're still going to be able to eat. You still got a roof over your head, right?
Yep. Sun will come out tomorrow, as the song goes, and you know, let's just go with it. I get up, feed the horse, let the dogs out. You know,
Exactly.
do whatever I got to. I mean, some of these people they just slammed on the brakes months ago, and because it was supposed to happen right now, and every time if I get like that, I say to myself, there's people that thought it was going to happen on 9/11.
You know how many people? Do you know how many?
on it.
Yeah. Do you know how many people that used to have channels regarding XRP that are no longer here? I don't even remember their names. They just literally packed up and they're done. YouTube channels gone, never to be seen again. People just gave up on it.
And I guarantee you, they probably like dumbasses sold their XRP too.
Exactly, because they listened to the naysayers. George, what do you want to chime in, George?
Yeah, man, I do. I got a lot to say actually, but oh man, I am so giddy. I've been in a weird mood for a couple of days, man, because it's like Rome is burning, and I'm like, ah.
You're Nero. You're fiddling.
It's all crumbling down around us, right? Look, everything's going to shit. It's unbelievable, and I'm just like laughing over here because it's we're in a crazy times, you know. Like I said, I'm positioned. I mean, you know, we might have to go through some crap. We might have to go through a few months of some hard times, but I'm ready, man. I've done my homework. I got my food. I got my water. I got my electricity. I got my, you know, silver, gold to get through a hard time if we need to, a bridge. I mean, you know, I'm ready. Bring it on, you know? And I mean, now I got healing for my family.
Right.
I started, can I share my testimony on this thing right now? Am I good?
With what? The blow dryer?
The iTerra. Yeah.
Yeah, you could go ahead and
I got mine. And I gotta tell you, you know, you hear the testimonials until you use it, you don't believe it. And I know Razor didn't get the same results, but I had some chronic pain issues. I was an athlete in college, and I had banged up my body. I've had pain in my shoulder and my knee for years. It's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. And I could go into the gym and lift like I did in college. And this has only been not even a week.
Yeah.
About a week. It's crazy. It works. This is the healing technology that's been hidden from us. And I can tell you, if you're in the healthcare industry, I'm not even joking. Look for another line of work because this is going to eliminate the need for
Oh, yeah.
Western medicine.
That's why they're fighting Trump.
Western medicine.
Yeah, that's why they're fighting Trump. That's why they don't want to back life extension technology, healing technology, all of it. The medical industry don't want to back. The hospitals don't want to back. The doctors don't want to back.
Here. It's all coming back. All the stuff that's been hidden from us to keep us sick, miserable, and slaves. It's all
so they
coming
can make
back.
money
These
off of us.
scumbags are going to be dealt with. We pay them to make us sick, and we pay them to try to make us better, and we pay them when we're born, and we pay them when we put ourselves in the ground. It's unbelievable.
We're trying to get everybody off the hamster wheel. That's what people don't understand. But going back earlier, you said Rome is burning, and you're giddy, and you're laughing, and you're having a good time, and it's like you're at a party. The reality is, Cliff High said it best a few months back. He said, "You know what? I know that he used the word crypto. We don't use the word crypto, but he said exactly. He said." Out of the whole thing, the only people that seem to be relaxed are the crypto people. And he's right. He's absolutely correct. Absolutely correct.
I'm just sitting back like this, just waiting, man.
That's all you got to do. I always say stay in positive cash flow, getting positive cash flow, stay in positive cash flow, and don't worry about it. Forget about it. When it happens, it happens. Simple. Yeah. It's not a difficult equation, And we repeat the same things over and over again, not because we want to be a broken record, guys. And by the way, the glasses are so that I protect myself from the screen so I don't get teary eyes. It's not because I want to look cool. I'm looking cool with or without the glasses. You know what I mean? So, but needless to say, it's like we repeat the same thing over and over again. Why? Because there's 160 million people here. And the rest of the world still ain't here yet. You understand? There's 8 billion people in the world. Only 160 million are here. The rest ain't here yet. Are you hearing me? So we got to repeat the story. You guys already know the story. Go open up your own damn channels.
Yeah.
Listen,
we gotta be seeing everything that's happening, guys. We gotta be so close. I mean, I can't imagine how much more has to happen. I mean, they're starting to put up wireless energy antennas around. I mean, this stuff, it's happening. It's happening. Nothing's going to stop what's coming. And
I agree.
And we're close, man. We're real close. I just believe it in my gut. I can feel it.
Do you guys think 2024 is going to happen or not?
I think the switch gets flipped before.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way that the diamonds of the 2020 election haven't been returned. I mean, that hasn't been dealt with. I think it's all going to be dealt with in one.
But do you think there's going to be some kind of major event that is going to distract everybody?
It's possible.
Anything's possible. Anything's possible. I'll tell you this: I have no interest whatsoever in 2024, other than surviving through it and to it and beyond it and everything else. If these people still want to muck about. See, my frequency is going to be I'm going to be flying 30,000 feet over the top of them by then.
I agree.
I always once said, I used to tell people this is back in the 80s. It's like of the typical, doesn't matter what party. You got 6 people campaigning for their party nomination, and you might like that one guy. He says everything. He's got it all together and everything else, but he doesn't make it to his party's nomination, right? Because he's just not going to be the guy. And then people just automatically go to party affiliation when they vote, straight D or straight R, it doesn't matter. They just go like that. And they're basically always be trading off the lesser of two evils. And I run people through this whole scenario and everything. I said, what if they gave an election and nobody came? Drop the mic.
Yeah.
Here's another thing with the way things are going with XRP and all this. I mean, and the switch over to the quantum financial system and the elimination of this bogus fiat currency we call the dollar, right? This worthless piece of paper that's still in circulation. The XRP put back a lot of their allocation into escrow. It's going to be locked up for 55 months. And something's got to happen before then. I don't care what anybody says. It's going to happen way before then. They're going to need the liquidity. So is a buyback coming real soon?
Yeah, well, that's a very strong, that's a very strong probability as far as I'm concerned, because the boys and girls upstairs, believe me, they know what that thing is going to be worth or the number they needed to crank it up at, etc. And they know. See, this is where everybody doesn't get it. Okay, when it comes to XRP, if XRP is the one, and there's no ifs, just let's lose the ifs. When XRP moves all the money, okay, it has to equal the liquidity pools of the entire planet.
Yes.
And if you know how to do simple mathematics, pluses, minus, subtractions, and divisions, you're done. You know how to figure it out. You figure out the escrow amount, huh?
And then, so how do they get it out? They get it out to the public for people like us who are smart, do our homework. We buy it, we build up the liquidity. We're holding it, building up the liquidity for them when they need it to buy back, to move all that money. We're the ones that are getting rewarded for it.
Yeah. But, the reality is people don't know how to do simple math. It's based on the fact that you got 50 billion divided by the total global liquidity. It's got to equal the entire global liquidity. I don't know if can you guys hear me out there? It's got to equal the entire global liquidity. And if you don't understand how big that is, I'm sorry, you fail basic math.
Is that the 37 trillion number?
No, that's not. No, it's a lot bigger than that. You're talking the derivatives market is about 1.8 quadrillion just alone. The real estate market, the diamond market, the gold market, the corporation moving money back and forth, the government's moving money back and forth, the derivative, the remittances market, the $7 trillion a day. That's nothing. How about the money that's sitting dormant? About 37. The numbers are fluctuating between 37 and 47 trillion dollars sitting inside these banks, dormant, doing absolutely nothing, waiting there for people to use that old system that's since 1972 called SWIFT. That you don't need that anymore. That goes away. Right. Okay, that money gets freed up. Well, how much is XRP worth? It's an argument that you can make very easily that it's going to be a very big number. And these people that are stuck in the three-dimensional world, okay, and still talking market cap is going to be completely revamped because it's going to accommodate the new world.
Of course.
And that's the other thing, that the money that we make, so to speak, off this is going to be worth a whole hell of a lot more than in today's terms, right? Because it goes back to the deflated number.
Yes. All the news, all the partnerships, all the G7, the G20, the G30, the meeting of the Central Bank of England, the meeting of the Central Bank of Canada, the meeting. It's always XRP. It's never the CEO of Bitcoin. It's never the CEO of anybody except us. Hello? And who's got the lawsuit? Us. Who goes to Antarctica? Us. Hello? Hello? Is anybody home?
Well, something else that pretty much has sealed it for me, Mel.
Yeah.
With XRP, it's very simple. ODL, on-demand liquidity.
Yes.
So when you think about the on-demand liquidity, now think about all the banks all over the world that have signed up with XRP. They know about on-demand liquidity. They know you can't do anything with a coin that's 30 cents.
Yeah. The people that listen to our podcast that are maybe not opted in, they're not subs, but they listen to us and they're part of the people upstairs. They say, holy shit, these guys figured it out. We're screwed. I'm telling you. They say we're like a bunch of bull
terrified.
mastiffs with bones in our mouth with rabies. We ain't letting go, dog. You feeling me?
Of course. Of course. And it's so
An
simple.
an enlightened human being is the most dangerous thing in the world to them. An enlightened
Of
human being,
course.
what's going on? They're
Of course.
terrified.
And that has nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Yeah.
If you don't
And
think they're watching,
I got charged water.
yeah, me too. I got charged water too. Hey, if you don't think they're watching us, you'd be making a big mistake. They're watching. They're watching.
Oh, they've been watching me since I started a Facebook group 4.5 years ago.
I just piss in their cornflakes. I just create a bunch of business opportunities, make a bunch of people making a bunch of money, and we just sit back and relax.
Hey, I give them a shout out when I'm on a phone conversation just to make sure.
Exactly. I'm their worst nightmare. They hate guys like me. They said, "Holy shit! Oh man, I thought we were going to be able to shake that whole entire tree of 100,000 people that Mel's created who hold XRP. No, you ain't. You ain't doing it.
You're not shaking Clarence Tatman, that's for sure.
So what's going on in Taiwan? I know that the clone, what's her name, is down there, Nancy Pelosi.
She's already back.
Oh, she's already back? Okay. What's going on with that?
Yeah. Right after that, another delegation of I forget who, 3 Democrats and a Republican went over there for a little surprise visit. I don't know what became of that.
Right.
I think maybe they were going over, and she really doesn't speak for us, or maybe that's what the purpose of their trip was. It's like, there's lots going on.
Yeah.
What was it? I heard the husband's already in Gitmo from what
they're all the big boys and the ones that are in the limelight. They're all, as far as I'm concerned, they're all gone. They really are.
Yeah, but it was just noteworthy that he was named. That he was there. I haven't seen him. I mean, I knew he was in trouble and stuff, but occasionally you'll see a name that you haven't been hearing about already gone there, stuff like that, and you just so I can chalk them off on the list. It's like that Gone in 60 Seconds movie where they got all the cars.
Yeah.
So I'm just checking off the list, saying, okay, they reported that one. Yep. So
according to David Straight, I mean, I saw a small clip of this. I never got a chance to find the whole video. David Straight said the 30, exactly that number. He said 30 people that are supposedly from the news, mainstream media, got awarded a ticket to go down to Guantanamo Bay. And he mentioned admirals, he mentioned judges by name and last name. And there are 30 people, some of them from CNN, some of them from Fox, some of them from ABC, CBS. They're down there. When this whole thing blows over, somebody's got to report that story.
Here's one thing I heard about it in the simultaneous trigger of the Florida raid. Can we say raid?
Yeah, you can say raid.
That set off bells and whistles, full alert down there too. Mm-hmm. And the guy, the commander of that thing, he had to call up Barger, and Barger didn't even know the other thing had happened just yet. But that guy down there that runs Gitmo, he went into full-on bells and whistles, all hands on deck, security lockdown, and questions being asked till just like anything when Kennedy was killed, everything gets locked down so they figure out what just happened, So, and they one of the questions in the conversation I was reading is, how many high value targets do you have there? And they said 15. These are people, that doesn't mean they only got 15 there, but these are what they consider high value targets locked up. I mean, I'm sure there's other ones, that maybe they let them cut out and play ping pong once in a while. Who knows?
But what do you think will be this collapse, the final collapse, the big one, the mother lode, what do you think it is going to be like? Is it going to be like the stock market? Is it going to be the digital asset market? Is it going to be, I don't know. I mean, what do you think?
I don't know that it's going to be anything like it. Maybe they would want it to be one of those things, but I don't think they're going to have a choice because it is literally getting ready to, you feel the vibe. It's getting ready to jump off in the
Well,
street.
here's the thing too, right? The emergency broadcast system, when everything goes down, and that is going to be used to educate, so to speak, whoever is watching, to propel us to the other side. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They keep saying, quit calling it EBS. It's EAS, emergency
Okay.
announcement system, whatever, a horse by a different name. But we need to have people start, if they start seeing military movement. My ex there, Heidi in Florida, she was out just relaxing by one of the intercoastal waterways, and she took a little video, and there was 4 military choppers going across the sky. You know, who knows? You can speculate till the cows come home where they were going, what they were doing. She has noticed a lot of utility work going on, which somebody else, I came across a picture of their replacing a lot of these wood poles with bigger, sturdier metal poles, octagon shaped and taper all the way up and everything for redoing the infrastructure. And that could be, and my neighbor Charlie knows some people and that do the line work and everything. And our existing infrastructure, cable size wise, isn't even adequate for what we do with it. But so who knows what this whole new Tesla free energy will be strain putting on the existing infrastructure, but we're seeing things being worked on anyway, you know, so
Yeah.
maybe
Is
you
it,
can put that.
yeah. Is it possible though? Is it possible that the EBS is going to be announced on Truth Social once it goes international? And that's maybe something to think about?
Everything's something to think about, but I've just been, you know, like George says, I'm sitting back.
Because, you know, here's the thing. Let's say, for
I
example,
can't chase my tail.
yeah,
I'm like, I'm done.
because Trump is a master. He's a master businessman too. He's not just a master chess player. Okay, we basically they meaning the left, they created this vacuum with the mainstream media and social media and everything. He comes in, boom, truthsocial.com. Truthsocial.com is going to be bigger than Twitter, Facebook, Google, all of them, because everybody's headed that way. People who used to hate Trump don't hate him anymore. I know people personally.
Yeah. Have you heard some of the extra little story about Anne Heche?
No.
She just
you talk about that lady that got killed?
Yeah, then the car speeding down the street ran into a house and burst into flames, and then she died shortly after.
And then she got out of her body bag. I saw that.
Yeah, but she died at the hospital later. She was all toasted inside.
Did she die, or did they?
Yeah, she's been pronounced dead.
Yeah.
She just got done doing a movie on human trafficking.
Oh, interesting.
Well, that's why. That's exactly why.
Yeah. And Paul Walker, same thing years ago. He had some stuff on the human trafficking, and then all of a sudden his car, a guy that knows how to friggin' drive and lots of speeds, and all of a sudden he gets into an accident like that. No, I ain't buying it.
No.
You know, so
I know this. I know the inside scoop on that one.
Yeah.
He was supposed to go deliver a speech. He's one of us. He was one of us.
He was on the way. Yeah, I heard he was on the way somewhere.
Yeah, he was going to deliver a speech that he was not supposed to give, and they made sure he never gave that speech.
Same thing with Chris Cornell from Soundgarden.
Yeah. Yep.
And
his partner.
that other guy from that other rock group.
Yeah, the guy
Um,
that looks like the guy from the Democrat National Committee. What's his name? They say it's
Podesta,
his son.
yeah, that's his dad
Podesta,
too. Yeah, Podesta's kid.
Yeah, it's Podesta's son.
identical.
Yeah, he looks identical to Podesta.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
there's
he was
no.
working with Cobain on making that movie, that documentary. They
Yeah,
Yeah,
killed them both.
Cornell. Yeah, from Lincoln Park. He was from Lincoln Park.
yes.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't need a paternity test for that one. Yeah.
No,
No.
No,
definitely not.
no,
Did you ever see that? Did you ever see that movie, Lincoln Park?
no.
No.
It's about a missing child also. Because Lincoln Park,
Interesting.
where's Lincoln Park? It's like it's a urban, underfunded area and everything, and some lady lost her kid or something in a whole neighbor projects, and it's been ages since I've seen it, but you just sparked it. It's like that was about a missing child also. Wow.
Yeah.
So Mel, do you have what's your experience listening to Charlie Ward?
I've been listening. I was listening to Charlie. Well, I haven't listened to Charlie in quite some time. When you get into being your own podcaster, you don't have the luxury of listening to all the other podcasts
Of
anymore
course.
because you're so busy
course.
creating your own content. But I do watch stuff from time to time, and if somebody, if I get like 5 people sending me a video from Charlie Ward, like within 10 minutes of each other, I say, okay, this has got to be a good one. Let me stop everything for a little bit, watch. So, I respect Charlie Ward. Charlie Ward's the one that actually got the entire XRP community re-energized like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I know, because that's what got me into XRP was Charlie Ward.
Interesting.
And this is what happened. See, because Charlie Ward says that he's working with insiders from the QFS.
He's the spokesperson.
Yes, he's a spokesperson for the quantum financial system. Yeah.
So the weird part about it, 2 years ago, Charlie Ward was talking about XRP a lot. Charlie Ward doesn't talk about XRP at all anymore.
He's under non-disclosure from what I understand, but thank you. You just gave me the title to the video. Charlie Ward got me into XRP.
He definitely did. But like the thing is, and he talks about the NDA he's under all the time. And the very crazy part about it, like I said, 2 years ago, he was talking about XRP constantly. And he even talked about he even talked about how he was messing up and saying things because of his NDA he shouldn't have.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you XRP was one of those things.
Yeah, he was also interviewed. He was also interviewed by Brad Kimes. What's his name? Digital Perspectives, right? Brad Kimes is, right? And he was also Digital Asset Investor was talking about interviewing him because he's the one that I think broke the story on Charlie Ward. And then the entire XRP community went ape shit.
Yeah.
I remember.
Here's what happens. Far too many people, the podcasters get on and they start going, and then all of a sudden it's like somebody tries to throw some dirt on them and everything. I just got asked earlier today in a message, what do you think about it? Forget who it was, so-and-so. It's like grain of salt. They all got 50-50 shot of being right or wrong. And I don't put all that energy into going down the rabbit hole trying to find out if whatever that latest story they said about him was true or not. A couple years back, maybe it's a year and a half or so, Scott McKay was at one of his tours down here in Vegas. Some people were stirring up some Scott McKay this, Scott McKay that, da. It's like, listen, people, I'm going to see him tomorrow. Okay? Y'all can talk and talk and talk. I'll meet the man in person, and I'll come back and I'll tell you what kind of feeling or sense I get from him. Okay? So I got there late. They were doing the whole meet and greet, shaking hand line and all that. And, everybody taking a picture. I got a picture of me with him. Sasha Stone was over my shoulder. I didn't want to interrupt his conversation, so I did a selfie over my shoulder as I turned and said, Sasha, and he He turned and looked and gave a thumbs up. When Scott came to me and shook my hand and, took a picture, a friend of mine took my camera and took a picture for me and everything. And I opened up my Riding with Jesus vest. I had it looks like a gym shirt, but it says DD 214 alumni, U.S. Navy, right? This dude snatched me up in a bear hug so quick because I was a veteran. There was nothing there. I didn't have time to react, boom.
He's a cool cat. I always like Scott McKay. Scott.
I was on.
Yes.
I was on Scott's show. He interviewed me in February. I was on there for a half hour.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'll send you the show.
Yeah, definitely. As Scott, again, I found out about Scott McKay through who? Through Digital Asset Investor. Because Scott said something
about Charlie Ward. Now, Alex Jones had him on often, all the way up to the election.
Who's that?
Now, Alex Jones, Charlie Ward. He would have Charlie Ward on.
Has he had Charlie Ward on? Alex Jones?
Yes, he has. Yes, absolutely.
I didn't know that.
And Charlie Ward was on there talking about how that the election passed that Trump lost was a sting operation. And mentioned to Alex.
Be careful with the word F.
Yeah.
Be careful with the word F.
I will. Sorry. Use Alex's audience to help bring awareness to this. And see, now here's the thing. Alex Jones helped wake me up. I followed him for 20 years.
Me too.
All of a sudden, he's doing things that I'm questioning, like bashing Q, bashing Trump. Charlie Ward comes on to try to let him know this whole thing was an operation. They have everything. They have it all, right? He tried to let Alex Jones know that. Alex was kind of like, well, you've never been wrong before, but, I guess, we'll have to wait and see. He was basically doubting what Charlie was saying.
Yeah. You sure you're not mixing up Dr. Charlie Ward with Dr. Pachenik?
No. It was Charlie Ward.
Really?
Yeah.
I love Dr. Pachenik. Dr. Pachenik said the same thing.
He was telling Alex, like, we use your audience to help him win. The first time we use your audience to help bring awareness to what happened now. And with the with what happened. So I don't know, man. I mean, Alex, I don't know what's with him.
Dr. Pachenik talks exactly like the 17th letter in the alphabet.
I could be wrong, but I don't think so. I'm almost positive it was Charlie.
Just a possibility. Maybe Alex was playing his part to slow the exposure, because, like they've always said, you can't just throw it all out there at these people. Yeah. So you got one person saying, yeah, it's happening, the other one going, well, I don't know, we'll have to see.
That's my theory with Wano Savin, like how he's kind of playing another side of it for a certain audience that might be turned off if he didn't. So I don't know. I mean,
well, what I tell people is, like, if you only hear one person saying a certain thing, first thing you got to do is, am I not liking it because it might be the truth and I just don't want to hear it, or or you look around and see if there's another person saying it also, and then nothing you can do with it at that point. You can just sit there, put the comment up on a shelf, and wait until maybe somebody else a day or two later. You don't just get your workout, jump into conclusions, because that's going to be the new Olympic event, kicking the can and jumping to conclusions. And there's people out there that are already on the team and they're going for the gold, I'll tell you.
Yeah. There was a specific video from Scott McKay that got picked up by Lynn Wood, the attorney. And he put it out there, and that video got like 4 million hits. I heard about him on Digital Asset Investor. Goes, oh, you got to watch this guy, Scott McKay. He was talking a little XRP stuff, right? And all of a sudden, I watched that video, and then I watched more of his. You once you get hooked to Scott, it's hard to turn him off.
Yeah.
And Scott was talking about technology that the military has, specifically 17, that it's like, a drone could fly overhead and literally chop a person in half, where one half of the body falls this way and the other half falls that way. I'm like, and he said, that's going to discourage from them to want to go forward. I'm like, whoa. He described technology that I had no idea even existed. And that was like, okay, I want to pay attention to this guy.
Watch, look up on YouTube. It's a small, they never became a movie, I guess, but it's a little trailer, they call it, called Slaughter Bots.
Okay.
Okay, you remember Angel Has Fallen, the Olympus Fallen, with what's his name? Remember they're out at the lake, and all of a sudden those little mini drones with eye recognition and everything came in.
Oh yeah.
That's what the whole Slaughter Bot trailer was. That came out before the movie did, and they used that stuff. But they already have you locked in, your facial recognition and everything, and the thing's coming for you, and you're not getting away. So
yeah. What do you guys think of the 87,000 IRS agents that they're hiring, supposedly? And the building down in Washington, D.C. is completely closed down.
I'm thinking I can drop about a dozen of them at the end of my driveway. I'm not sure yet.
I think it's BS to scare people.
Yes, I think so. I think it's
all just part of the show. Yeah,
yes.
It's all just part of the show.
They already hired supposedly 950 what the whistleblower referred to as thugs, because they weren't your typical people he sees coming in. They relaxed some guidelines in the employment process. But I see the whole thing is money laundering, because all that, none of the money they ever put together for this stuff goes to whatever it was slated to go to. Because let's face it, if half of it did, we'd be having a little bit better situation in the world.
And most of these 87,000 agents, supposedly, they said we're going to be hired specifically to scare the heebie-jeebies out of who? The digital asset people. I'm just telling you, it's like you can't make this shit up. It's ridiculous. But I don't think. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah. I don't think I think it's a bullshit story. I think it's propaganda. Yes, there are people supposedly getting letters from the IRS, and they think they're being audited, where I think those letters are being written by some fancy law firms, okay, that are being paid to scare the heebie-jeebies and try to act as a collection agency. Not happening. Not happening. I'm not buying it. I'm done with it, man. I'm done with it.
I had read some funny story about the what if a terrorist tries to come onto our land and everything else. It's like, and the response time of the military getting all geared up and going, it's like the rednecks and everybody else, all the other ethnic groups and everything, by the time they're ready, they're arriving on the scene, there's already mayhem and everything else, and they're packing up and heading back home, in their 4-wheel drives or whatever. It's like, yeah, glad you guys could make it.
Absolutely. Well, guys, it's been real. We had fun. We do these once a week, usually when we get around to it. Amber's been really pushing the envelope to make sure that I do one of these every week. She's like, hey, by the way, I scheduled you a roundtable. Like, okay, thank you.
Got to stay connected to the common folk, us common folk out there. We got to keep you humble. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. You know what? Let me tell you something. I don't care if I had 35 million followers. What you see is what you get. When I turn the camera off, when I shut off the record button, this is me. This is who I am. I'm not an act. This is who I am. When you meet me in person, I'm going to have a conversation with you with the same smile, with the same passion, with the same shit. It's me. If I was an actor, I'd go audition in Hollywood, but nobody could play my part. You know why? There's only one, me. Thank you, guys. Let's say goodbye to the audience, and we'll hit pause because I want to ask you guys some questions. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you.
Okay.
See you later, audience.